just the tip, and it hit him in the shoulder, and he didn't know what it was.
Welcome to the Beat Around the Bench podcast about woodworking, good times, and general jackassery. With your hosts, Jess of Jess Build It, Colton of Cold Crit, and Ross of RNC Woodworking and Designs. You can find us all on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. In this week's episode, Ross rejoins the fray. Jess goes deep on wood from Big Sky Country. Colton almost fires his lead, and Ross preps for an off-road adventure. All of that and more is coming right up on this episode of the Beat Around the Bench podcast. Now for episode 87, Wood Pulp Fiction.
Wood pulp.
So
low-hanging fruit. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
87 episodes.
Yeah.
Is it really 87?
Yeah.
87, man.
This How many hours would that be?
I mean, they're averaging 2 hours, so
about 120 hours.
Probably like 150.
It's like
almost.
We're working up to a week of full recording. I guess that's.
You
like
guys are crushing it on the math side. By the way, it's 174, but you know that's fine.
Yeah, but like sometimes they're an hour and a half, right?
Yeah,
like an hour and a half, so average it out.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Was I thinking 80?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Either way, 87 is actually my lucky number, so I'm very excited about this episode.
Really?
It is.
Oh, all right.
Because of old Tom Waddle, the Bears wide receiver. To me, one of the greatest understated players in Chicago sports history. He led the league in concussions and smelling salts and also receptions for like 2 years. He would literally just go across the middle and just get murdered, catch everything you threw at him, and bounce right back up and run to the huddle. That was it. No showmanship, no nothing.
Code for booger sugar, or is it like to wake your ass up?
Actually, wake your ass up because it was the late 80s, early 90s, and he would just get annihilated in the middle of the field back before they had like rules to protect a defenseless receiver. So yeah, he just got annihilated and would pop right back up and run to the huddle. So
took a lick and just kept ticking.
Yep.
Right on.
Yeah.
I got some exciting new stuff today in the mail, like within an hour ago. I got them on my feet right now and my legs.
Please tell me they are fuzzy slippers that squeak.
No, it's woodworking related.
Oh.
I got finally after I think I've been wearing those Brunt boots for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I wear them almost every single day.
Okay.
Like
I bet they smell something fierce inside.
That's what they smell amazing.
They're strong. They're thick. And whenever I had my broken ankle, I had only able to wear my left one, right? And I was like kind of crutching with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the complete heel of one of them's rubbed off. Yeah. But so I got a new set of boots and it came with the pants and I got some leather conditioner. And
what leather conditioner did you get?
Oh, just it
comes with
my order was over $150, so they gave it to me for free.
Oh, okay.
I haven't even opened it up yet,
okay.
But it's from Brunt. But so Brunt, I'm kind of forgetting it. I got the black boots.
Mm-hmm.
I went with the black.
They're bigger.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good to know. Can I jump higher? No, but so I really wanted their wheat. They had like a really light tan.
Mm-hmm.
I think they call them the wheat. But they was a limited edition. They stopped selling them. But I was like, I don't know. I kind of want to be edgy. And so I tried the black. The pants I got from Brunt were brown. And I think they look not great with the brown and the black. I like more of the brown than the brown. But I normally wear like gray or black pants.
I got you.
Right. But it's
like you work for a corrections officer or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But so Brunt always has a tent set up at Maker Camp, and I got to check them out, and they corrected a lot of the stuff. It sounds like I'm plugging Brunt here, but they corrected a lot of the things that went wrong on my boots. Like I started pointing out all the stuff that I didn't like that went wrong. It wasn't a ton. I love the boots, but there's always improvements. And they're like, oh yeah, we fixed that here and here and here. And I was like, oh, awesome. I can't wait. But yeah, so rocking the black boots, man. And the pants, they're extremely comfy. They're a little bit more baggy than I like, but I got the ones that have stretch in them.
Okay.
They're not extremely baggy though. I'm kind of picky on that. But like even on, I wasn't expecting it. On the inside of the waistband,
Yeah.
there's like this like soft kind of felt stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Keeps your shirt tucked in.
These are going to be great in the summer. Like I can't wait. But
So
I'm
since-
hoping they shrink a touch in the wash. So
I gotcha. All right, so I didn't know we were going to talk about clothes, but I got a shirt for Christmas.
Good for you.
From Ashley's
Master's giving
dad's
Dobby a
girlfriend.
sock.
And it was like a Wrangler ATG shirt, all terrain gear.
I know that.
And it's got it's kind of like one of those knockoff. What's that really expensive one?
You talking about like
Columbia,
cinch?
like a Columbia shirt.
Like
So
a
it's got
fishing
like
shirt?
the net. Well, it's like for outdoors. It has ripstop. It's got like a little bit of net under the arms, and then like the back has like a flap, so it's like it's moisture wicking.
Some
It's
big
the
old
most
breast pockets.
well. Everything I own when I wash it, even before I wash it, sometimes I'll buy extra large and it fits everywhere, but it's too short. Sleeves are too short.
Got to buy
like
XL
it's-
tall.
Yeah, and it's hard to find that unless you want to
Eddie
spend a lot
Bauer.
of money on it.
Eddie
Yeah,
Bauer has a ton of them.
right.
Oh, really?
So
Mhm.
I went to. It fits very well.
Yeah?
It's long. Like I can tuck it in,
Ooh.
and if I wanted to.
Does it have good
And,
traction? Being a Wrangler?
Yes. And so
oh,
I
here's
like.
a Jeep joke.
I wore it the other
I
day,
get it.
and I was like, "Oh, it's got the room in the arms. I can move. Like I worked in it." And so I bought 3 more of them. I just
Same
Nice.
colors?
They're 23 different colors. No, I bought 23 different bucks a piece. I got gray, blue, like a cream color.
Okay.
So yeah,
Nice.
I'm excited about it. They're great workshop shirts. They got pockets. So in the summer they'll be good. You wear an undershirt in the winter. I like them.
Nice. I got a Magellan fishing shirt that I liked a lot. I got like some sort of like pro series. It's still like $30 at Academy. But do they have academies up north, Russ?
We have a lot of schools. Yeah.
We have Dick's here.
Yep. Dick's Sporting Goods.
Dick's, yeah.
We have
yeah,
the Big
that
Dick
too.
store.
That too.
It's got a ton of stuff there.
We
Nice.
had Dirty Dick's in Panama City.
Mm-hmm. If you go to like Louisville, there's a restaurant chain called BJ's, and they're usually in shopping malls. Strangely enough, next door to Dick's. So there's Dick's and BJ's. Different connotation, but yeah, that's fun.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody get their fill.
Yeah. You guys are talking about clothes. I thought this entire year that just went by, being that this is the second episode of the new year.
Whoop.
Woot woot. I actually thought that it was the dryer that was shrinking my clothes the entire year. Turns out it was a refrigerator the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The refrigerator.
Yeah.
I haven't
ate
heard it built like that.
Yeah.
I have
Dude,
ate so bad since before Christmas. So as soon as I bake cookies, it's like we're like screw it for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And I even gave away all the cookies.
Ooh.
700 of them. Gave them away.
What?
You made
Yeah, we
700 cookies?
Over 700 actually.
Dude,
You
there-
have
you
a
can-
double oven?
Yes, I do have a double
But
oven.
you only can get like 12 to 16 per tray unless you're making tiny ass cookies.
I made 4 dozen at a time, and I could bake 4 dozen at a time, and then we did the chocolate dipped, the other 300 and something. But yeah, it was 700 and some odd cookies. We gave them to our neighbors. We gave them to the guys at work. We gave them to her family. We mailed them to people up north.
Nice.
And they're called kitchen sink cookies. And then Ashley's mom used to make these ones every year. And so every year we make them. It's Ritz with peanut butter, and then you dip them in the chocolate.
What are those
Nice.
called?
Helen's cookies, I guess.
Helen's cookies?
Nice.
I have not a clue, but I tell you what, they're simple, but that sweet, and then the salt from the Ritz and the chocolate and the Skippy peanut butter is pretty darn good.
I think you got to change the name to like Helen's Handbasket. So,
yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Helen's handbasket.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, so yeah, and then we made prime rib for Christmas.
Very nice.
With mashed potatoes and baked potatoes, and
Mm-hmm.
then I made that TikTok mac and cheese, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then we were going through all the Tupperwares, and I was going to start a food truck. I really was serious about thinking about starting a food truck and getting out of the construction because I was at Walmart a long time ago and I found egg roll wrappers.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's how they do it. Okay, cool. You can just buy them. They're cheap. These are cheap. So I looked up, like what you're supposed to do, and we found the deep fryer.
Yeah.
And which I never use, never. Like unless I'm making chicken parm, I never pull out the deep fryer. It's just too much work to clean it.
Unless you have it set up all the time, it's a pain in the ass.
And it smells, it makes the whole house smell and all that stuff. So she's like, we should make some egg rolls. We haven't made egg rolls in forever.
Yeah.
It's like we should use the leftovers because I had made a brisket.
There you go.
Which I also found on sale. And the one year we made them and we put leftover turkey, mashed potatoes, and inside of it, and then dipped it in cranberry sauce, and it was so good. It was so good, and then like macaroni and cheese in some of them.
Dude,
so I was going to start
like
a truck
a
that's called
bomb.
Everything Egg Rolls, and it's like a verb and a noun, right? So. And then we had a big egg roll party, and I made all these recipes, and we tried like chicken and waffles and like all these different things.
What was the best one, or most surprising one, I should say?
The chicken and waffles didn't turn out good because the chicken got double cooked, and I didn't think about that. So I think you'd have to do. I'm not quite sure how to do it, honestly. You'd have to do powdered sugar, and kind of treat it more like a. I don't know. I didn't have time to figure it out. The best one that everybody liked, we did buffalo chicken.
That would be great.
A buffalo chicken, and you dipped it in blue cheese, and then it had a little bit of blue cheese crumbles inside of it. And then it all melted. And
Philly cheesesteak egg rolls are amazing.
Philly cheesesteak egg rolls, we can get them from some of the Chinese places, are really good. And then I like them with the queso Velveeta, and I add jalapeno, and it's just like a giant cheese thing that just melts in your mouth.
Yep.
And then the best one I've made so far, I think I stole from a restaurant at McGuire's or somebody, or I forget.
Mark McGuire's. It's steroids.
No. A Reuben egg roll.
Those are great.
So I did pastrami, sauerkraut, and
Thousand Island.
We dipped in Thousand Island, and then I had some salami, so I did salami and pastrami and Swiss inside of it, and dipped it in Thousand Island. Oh,
I'd be all over that.
It's so bad for you. It's just so bad, and
that's why it tastes so good.
Yeah, right on. Do y'all do Christmas tamales? I figure that might be kind of a South Texas thing.
I've never heard of that. That sounds good, though.
Yeah, usually around Christmas there's always a bunch of tamales going around Houston.
I mean, it sounds delicious.
Yeah. Actually, some of the best ones I had were store-bought this year. It was from H-E-B.
Yep.
I think it's another Texas
brand.
And what was it? It was a Oaxaca cheese with jalapeno.
That does sound muy bueno.
Muy bueno.
Riquísimo. Sí, it was muy bueno. Sí.
Not to divert away from deliciousness, because I absolutely love
General Jackassery.
Dude, it's General Jackassery for sure.
Yes.
What's going on in everybody's shop? I haven't talked to you guys really this new year.
We had some drama today in the shop.
What you got?
Big drama.
Let's hear
I thought we were going to lose a guy today, not killed wise, but fired wise. I was planning on firing him today, and
should have.
Yeah. No, I disagree with that now.
Everybody always said I should have fired, and then I look back and I go, I should have fired him.
I know.
Do something again.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I do agree that oftentimes whenever you should have fired somebody, like the guy who had the whole incident with the gun, talked about that previous episode.
We did.
He was one I agree. We should have saw the signs earlier and let him go. But this guy, no, I think that we actually came to a good thing today. So what was it? To keep a long story shorter.
Oh, hold on.
On Monday, we were going to be there 2 hours earlier at 5 a.m. And I was informed that we need to do that on Friday. And this is our supervisor, right? Which me and Rick talked. It actually should have been titled crew leader.
Yes.
Is a more accurate term. But yeah, whatever. So our crew leader, and he was not a fan of it. He's very protective of his personal time, his personal space. And I respect that, but sometimes you gotta sacrifice and suck it up, especially when you're in leadership, right? And he just didn't show. When I talked to him, Which actually we had to drive to Austin that day. It was a long car ride and few words were said after the first few words were said. And he got a little too big for his britches. Right. And then also after talking to some other guys, there were some other things he did. He got a little bit of ego. And so at the end of the day, I was like, Albert, we don't need you the next 2 days. I'll see you on Thursday. And I wanted to give him 2 days off, which, that I'm not trying to hurt him, but it does hurt him in his pocketbook, right, as an hourly employee. And I wanted him to sit at home and maybe think about if he likes this job.
You stay home and you think about what you've done.
Yes.
Young man.
So I show up this morning and I drank an extra cup of coffee just to get ready for this meeting, right? Because I knew it was going down. He's a very strong-willed human being. And I respect that a lot of times, but sometimes he's too strong, right? He needs to say sorry or something, sometimes. And yeah, long story short, at one point it was me, Rick, and him talking, and Rick points to the door. Is like, you can get the F out. Whatever. That part was dramatic. But then, and I was like, okay, he's probably not going to be here anymore. And then me and him went into the office and had about an hour and a half long conversation. And I was like, what's actually the problem? We dug down deep on it and talked about communication. And I'm like, I don't like doing stuff sometimes. I daydream about walking out of here sometimes too, whenever Rick's talking to me and just trying to make me do something that I disagree with. Right. But I still do it. Right. That's part of leadership. Sometimes you do things that suck and that you disagree with, but you do it because that's your role and you're supposed to. And it's deeper than that. But we went on. And by the end of it, I was like, you know what? I think we have a good manager here. We just needed to get on the same page. And I let him know that I think you're intelligent, man. I think you're smart. I love your attention to detail. I think you're moral. You don't lie. And I don't think a lot of people have told him that.
What's his name? Albert Naga, not going to work here anymore. That's for sure.
But by the end of it, it was good. I really feel like we're on the same page. I mean, granted,
he walked out 30 minutes into this conversation. He just kept talking.
Yeah.
No, we got down to the nitty gritty of it, man. And it felt so good after that. And I was fully prepared to let him go. But yeah, because normally those conversations don't. The what?
Like in Frozen?
Let it go.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We were about to be Beto-less. But no, we are Beto-full. And we're all on a good communication. And then we went back to the team. And because, we didn't divulge all of our drama, but they knew stuff was going down.
Yeah.
Right?
But you don't want to do that in front of the team.
Yeah. No, but we had just a talk with the team about communication. And that was a good thing. I feel good. Rick's a little quicker or a little longer to let go of a grudge or anything. Which I also admit that I'm a little too quick to forgive and forget, or not forget, but forgive. Right. But I think that we made the right move for the team today, and we'll see. So.
Colton, I have a follow-up question for you. Not about this, but about a prior episode discussion. Did you happen to finish the final Colt Crit piece of cornhole boards for the holiday season?
And also I accidentally fibbed. There's actually 2 big ones out. There was another recent order, but no, I haven't finished it. So, no, which that was part of my New Year's resolution too from last year.
To get them done by January?
I was going to say, that's your challenge. We're throwing the gauntlet down right now. You got to get both of those sets done and mailed out
and never take another order
before the end of the month.
Well, I do like a challenge.
There's your challenge.
It does seem unrealistic, but
no, it doesn't.
I'm not impossible. You know what? F yeah, let's do it. Okay.
So what happens if you don't
write it down?
You can't come back to the podcast for 2 podcasts?
I'm going to do the next podcast after the first podcast of February naked. So,
okay, deal.
Oh, okay.
Totally deal.
I don't.
Totally deal. And it'll be our first ever live. It'll be our first ever YouTube. Yep.
Hey, definitely. I might be drawing a different crowd in.
So let me, since I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. So, I always have employee problems. The three
do.
guys, oddly enough, in the shop are amazing. Fingers has been doing great.
Woo!
The new guy that we got from the other shop, he's been doing great. Really great today, actually. Um, and then the other guy that's just a helper is the most consistent on time person that ever existed, which is all you can really help about somebody that's just learning. So, and never says no. So he's good. So it's good. It's still the problems with the guy in the field, and he's I don't know what's going to happen, And then the thing is that I had these stairs that I kind of messed up something. We should have done one part of it first, and we didn't. But I didn't know we were going to have to do it, so it was just kind of like this thing that nobody really thought about it. And then he's like, I can come in and I can cut around this and do that. I said on these, it was on some stairs, and I'm like, okay, and showed up late, came with no tools, totally ill prepared, had to run some other place, came back, sat and talked to the customer too long, and he makes it all complicated and absolutely like ridiculous, gets them all confused, and then doesn't do anything. And then day 2 doesn't do anything, and then does the easy parts and doesn't do the parts that I did tell him to do, and because he didn't want to, whatever. And so I was kind of done with it. So I called the owner and I talked to Fingers, was helping him, and I said, "Hey, like, how's it going?" And he's like, "Ugh." And so, because he knows how it is when me and him, like, we don't quit. Like, I figure it out. I'm pretty smart, and we just get it done. And I said, okay. So I called the owner and said, "Listen, you got to pull them off. Let me do it. I'll go there Friday. I got to do this kitchen on Thursday," which is what I did today. We finished the kitchen, and then go. You got something for him, or do you want to let him go? Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
That's I think eventually the plan. And so he's like, yeah, I got something for him. He's like, you can go do that. So in the meantime, we had this old job where he wanted a shelf, and I was really worried that he seemed like the type to give us a bad review because he's like, it's not that big a deal. You just put up a shelf. I'm like, well, it's in Tampa, and I assumed he had put his TV up, which he did, but he didn't tell me. So it was like over a TV, and it's up in the air, and it's just not that simple.
Yeah.
So, and then he gets there, and we had run some holes when we put the entertainment center in so they can run the audio video cables through, like an HDMI or whatever. Well, we didn't know because he didn't leave us an HDMI cable, which he was supposed to provide.
This is the customer or the...
Yeah, that there was a fire block in there. So there was just the wires and there was no hole. And so somehow somebody had to fish something down in there with a flex bit, drill through that. Well, the flex bit wouldn't even bend to get in there. And so, because he went and bought a flex bit. And so finally he got his hand and an extension and a paddle bit through there somehow. And then he got a wall fish and he got the wire through. But it took him half the day. He was by his dang self.
I hate to say it, but there are times where it's actually faster to cut a hole in the drywall on that whole chase. And
he couldn't. There was an entertainment center in there. I had to cut the cabinet.
Oh, okay. I see.
It was all in behind the cabinet at this point.
Okay.
So anyway, so he fixed it. And it was like he rose to the occasion, that part about him that's like ingenuitive and problem solving and like not everything he needs and still gets it done is in there, So it's not like I just jumped to getting rid of him but he's just a BSer, and he does this cycle where he disagrees with you and he says, I'm going to do it like this, and that's not how I'm going to do it. And then I'm like, you know what? Just forget it. And he's like, okay. And then he's like, okay, yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. And then he's like, oh, you're so great. Like starts kissing ass. It's this cycle every time. And then at some point he tells me he's broke, and he tells me he doesn't have any money, and he tells me his phone's going to get cut off. It's like one of those guys. So every time. And some woe is me, or I'm sick. I don't feel good. So I'm just too old for that stuff at this point. I don't have to. There's so many people here. I could just pay and make a little bit and get a subcontractor to do it. There's so many guys that are doing so much work right now. So good. And they're willing to take on whatever you give them and make it work weekends and nights and everything else. So I think I have another carpenter lined up. He sounds pretty cool.
Nice.
So hopefully we can can get him. And we've put some ads on Facebook, not ads, but just like reached out on Facebook for, people that do everything, drywall, tile, any and all. And we've gotten some people that have reached out to us. So, as we get some jobs, I've bid a lot of stuff. I bid one job and the lady just walked through and she's like, I want this and this and this and this, and, new faucets and new lights and new trim. It was $170,000, 89 line items.
Jesus.
Including a couple built-ins, vanities, flooring, removing can lights, putting in can lights, that kind of stuff. Wrapping, wainscoting up curved stairs, which I've always wanted to do. And boy, when she got that price, because she was dying. When can you get started? Can you paint the kitchen? It was like, when? Now. And then I'm like, listen, I haven't even given you a price. Oh, I give her a price on the kitchen.
Yeah.
I will say that. But she's like, well, can they do it now? And I was like, well, let me see what, not until February 10th could we start on the kitchen. And then she's like, well, I think I got somebody else that can do it. And I'm like, so you're pulling in other prices while I'm working up this humongous expensive bid from all these different people. And then when are you going to paint the kitchen? You go and do the backsplash before you paint the kitchen?
Yeah.
Like, you're not a sub. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I was just like, all right, let's just put a price on here and then see what happens.
Okay.
Ghost.
Really?
Yeah. Ghost.
I got a question.
And I also said, I don't want to come in and change one toilet. That's the one thing you pick off of this. I want to do, we're a contractor. I want to do the bulk of the work.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Multiple meetings. She just thinks, just what's the price? Yeah, let's just change that. Yeah, you know what? Let's just do that. That when they start waving their hand, it's like the price shopping on, Walmart or Amazon. It's not that way with construction. So she'll get what she what'll happen is she'll show her rich husband because she don't work, and he'll go, what in the hell did you tell these people? What is all this stuff? Because the prices aren't that bad. I mean, tongue and groove on ceilings that are 20 feet up in a vault and adding faux beams, that's expensive.
Yeah.
And I got to set up scaffold and roll it. So it means I got to cover the floor. Like, there's a lot to all that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I got a question on that. With you telling, or you're able to tell that she's going to be a PIA, pain in the butt.
Oh,
customer.
I didn't know that. She was friends with somebody else. She was actually pretty nice.
Really? Okay. Sorry, that's not what I was picking up. But as far as all this,
she just doesn't care about money.
Did you throw a little bit extra on the bid?
Yeah.
Like, did you favor the high side?
I favored
knowing that it might be a pain.
I favored struggle factor, as my dad would call it.
Yes. Okay. Good. That's what I was trying to ask. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't bid anything without that anymore. Like, people want built-ins for $5,000 on an 11-foot wall, and I just don't do that.
No, just material wise, you're at like $3,600.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, even if I use our cabinets as bases, which is worked out to be pretty cool. Painting and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I hate to get into making things out of Formica, but I would love to find something that was, or not Formica, melamine, but I would like to find a product that was white on both sides that had a nice core to it. Even if it was, like 5/8, it wasn't quite half inch to make, because a lot of people just want white cabinet or shelves. And it would be nice to just be able to cut up the material and edge band it.
Yes.
And then, make boxes.
I mean, melamine is that, but it's not the best.
Yeah. It's just real hard. And it's real hard to work with. You can't get it wet.
Yeah.
Like, as opposed to you spraying all these shelves?
Painting them, spraying them. We did talk to a company that paints in-house and there, and I really like them. And so I might start building stuff and then having him paint it there. So I actually
That's
what Bourbon Moth did.
Yes, and I'm actually in a similar boat. I finished that desk build. I have to install it next week. But a friend of mine works at a marketing agency, and they are working with Range Rover right now for an event build out, and they want me to build some high boy tables and a high communal table and a potential back bar. And so they want it all in 18 to 19 days. And I was like, that's a really tight turnaround. And I was like, okay, here's the price of what it would be. And the customer is changing their mind, similar to this lady, oh, by the way, and can you do this new rendering? And can you do this? And
they can't make a decision.
I've done literally 10 renderings so far.
No deposits yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, see, that's where they get. I had some other business ones like that.
But I actually told him, I was like, if I don't have a deposit by tomorrow, the Friday, then unfortunately I have to pass because I won't have the time to do this correctly. But on that back bar piece, I have somebody that I've met through social media that they do unbelievably high-end painting jobs, and they do cabinet refinishing, and just finishing is their main thing.
They can go do it, yeah.
And I was like, hey, if I build this back bar piece, can you paint it? And he was like, yeah, we'll knock it out in like 2, maybe 3 days. Here's the price. And I was like, awesome. And I built it right into the cost of everything. And I was like, if you want this, this is what it'll be. I'll build it in this amount of time. I'll drop it off. He'll have it done in a couple days. And then I can put it in the truck and drive it down to where I need to get it to. So
there you go. Outsource the not fun part.
Problems that I've been having with the businesses is it's like you're usually talking to some girl or some guy that is in the middle of like everything, and then they got to take it to a meeting.
Correct.
And then they don't even tell you what they want.
Correct.
They don't. They're like, well, what can you like? Listen, are you wanting to design it? Because there's going to be a design fee. We're going to go ahead and start with that, and then I'll walk you around. But then if there's a time frame, guess what? You need to put a deposit. I need to order materials, and we need to start on some basic part of it now. If you want it in a month, and we'll figure out the details. And somebody needs to come here that can make decisions, but they don't do that. And so what happens is it just bounces back and forth in emails until it's too late.
So I'm almost at that point, but the problem is I can't even get them to put down deposit for materials because they haven't made a decision if they want it painted or if they want it stained. And if they want it stained, they want to go with white oak and then Rubio monocoat on it. If they want it painted, I had suggested either plywood or maple for everything. And until they make a decision,
buy like white oak plywood.
It would be maple plywood. If I do it with maple, if I do, depending on the pieces, it would actually be actual white oak. Like,
oh, you wouldn't use white oak plywood, veneered plywood?
No, because they want a thicker build on everything. I could put like 3 or 4 sheets together, but it's not worth it. They want like a 2+ inch thick tabletop. They want this to feel beefy.
The top.
Yeah.
The top. Well, you could just do the top and do a band around it.
Yeah. So we'll see where it ends up going, but I'm in that same boat. I'm like, you guys got to make a decision. Yes.
Because I'm not doing anything unless you give me some money. Because I've been through this too many times, and as it proves, it's true. Like we had somebody for some water treatment company or somebody that built pipes or something, and then she's like, "Oh, can you add this logo? Oh, and actually, we want to put 9 logos on it, and can you laser all those and cut them all out, and make signs?" I'm like, "Listen, no,
yeah,
like why are you doing this 1 month or 2 months before you're about to start?" You can't make a decision. You keep taking it back, and they say, "Well, can it look like this?" And why are you making me change? Like whether this has a door on it or not doesn't make any difference. We can change that. Somebody needs. I said, you have to tell me what you want. I finally got her on the phone. I was like, I don't know what's in your head. I mean, yeah, you're showing me the front of like somebody else's thing, but is that what you want? Like, what's the dimensions people have to sit under? What size are the computers? Like, what's going on? And I don't know. That's all I hear. So and then it wound up just wasting my time on all of it.
Yeah. So we'll see if I don't have a deposit by tomorrow.
I don't think you should try to rush it, man. That's the worst.
No, and that's the thing. Like I designed everything so it'll actually be pretty feasible to pound out quickly for the pieces that I did design. And it's just a question of like, can they make a decision? Where are we going from there? So we'll see what happens. I would be very excited to do it, but I also know that I'm going to live at my shop for the next 2 weeks if I do. So we'll see.
Woo.
Yeah.
That'd be so bad. You got heaters?
Yeah.
You're drink a little whiskey in your shop at the end of the day.
Yeah, a little wild turkey or a Goldschlager while you're.
Yeah, I pound Goldschlager because it's 1997.
Did you? Speaking of which, did you have some while you were skiing?
No, but I did have. There is a beer based out of Montana. It is called Montucky Cold Snacks.
Yes.
I love cold snacks, and they call themselves the unofficial beer of Montana. And it's like $3 tall boy cans at the mountain, which is unheard of for mountain pricing. And so I would have, a couple of those, go out and ride, come in, see, my wife was doing the après life the whole time. My kids were in ski school. So I was just out enjoying on my own. And dude, I was riding some epic powder. And you
shred the pow.
Shred the gnar.
Shred the gnar.
But yeah, it was great.
They had Huckleberry beer when I was in Montana. It was good.
Yeah. Huckleberry, everything. Yeah. It's like definitely like a way of life out there.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Huckleberry.
We got a 6er of the Cold Stacks last Workbench Con.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those go. It's like Bush. It's like not great, but it's kind of, you love that it's not great. I don't know.
Yeah. It doesn't fill you up. It's not super heavy. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's just beer.
Mm-hmm. Beer flavored beer.
Tall can, so you get more beer in your hand.
Yep. You boys want to do a little bit of trivia? Or Jess, what are we doing history? What are we doing?
We did a little history and trivia last week, so I thought we would do a little trivia this week.
Okay.
Right.
So let's start with I've got both
Drum roll, please.
Let's do the wood of the week. It's just one I've been meaning to do.
Awesome.
Wood of the week. Wow. Wood of the week.
This week's wood of the week was suggested by Google Gemini. I thought I'd give it a try.
Okay.
It's available on iOS now. I said, I need something obscure, Gemini. We've been through all kinds of different woods. It's really going to have to be something weird. So it did the normal ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the ones we've done. And although we have talked about this and it's been in mini trivia, I don't think we've ever actually done the wood of the week. I can't find one where I see.
Okay.
It is Goncalo Alves.
Oh yeah, that was that Ecuadorian fella. Ran that cartel, right?
Could my father prepare to die?
Yes. It's also called Tiger Wood.
Oh yeah, great golfer.
Yes, Tiger Woods. Yes. And
on Sundays.
It is. You guys should pull it up. It's really quite pretty. I tell you who's got a good picture of it is of the grain, like zoomed in, is the Wood Database. But here, I was going to pull it up really quick. But it is quite. I don't know. Everything looks like walnut on the computer, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
But it definitely has that. It's very high Janka hardness, couple thousand.
Huh. Some wild looking stuff. Weird, wild stuff.
It is a pretty. It's a pretty used wood. It's more than you'd think.
Yeah, that's what they said about Tiger Woods.
They make it's got kind of like a orangish thing to it, orangish tint to it. 2,170 on the Janka. It comes from Mexico southward to Brazil. Tiger Wood, Hobilo, and Muria Catiera.
Knife expert, that Moria Cutiera.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not too hard to work with. It's just that the thing is it's not that hard. It's harder than oak, but it's like pushing towards hard maple. So it's not impossible to work with.
Okay.
And it's fantastic for flooring. It grows pretty big, 3 to 5 foot trunk diameter, 130 foot tall tree. So you get a lot of yield from each tree. And fine furniture, veneers, guitars, drum inlays, a lot of high-end musical instruments as always. So I really like it. But I see it a lot in woodcraft, in their like turning stuff that you can buy. Like you can buy blanks, and they have Goncalo Alves all over the place for it. The different grain structures and stuff makes it really pretty. Really pretty
nice. Is woodcraft ever the smart place to buy wood? I
it
guess
is if you like little stuff. I think
some crazy exotics. I guess.
Yeah, if you like a knife handle, like some knife blanks or pen stuff.
And I'm probably coming out with that with a little bit of prejudice too, just like assuming that it's expensive.
It is. So it is expensive, especially when you compare it to a local lumber yard. But a local lumber yard may not have as much of the rare exotics as they would.
Yeah, like you're not gonna find zebra
will
wood.
not.
at
No, but you may
Mason's Mill,
find
yeah.
like when you go to Woodcraft or to Rockler, sometimes you can find like Peruvian black walnut, or you can find yellow wood or purple heart. They're not going to have that
Right.
at your local lumber yard.
What I'll tell you about woodcraft too is that people go in and they pick through it, right? And so they pick the ones they want, and then they wind up selling the leftover stuff for less to
Mhm.
get rid of it. And so that's one of the reasons why it's more expensive. Like I'm going to tell you, for instance, I bought some walnut recently. I bought 8/4 and 4/4 rough sawn, and he's like, "Do you have like any particular preference on how wide?" And I was like, like around 6 or so. And he's like, "Okay." And for the 4/4. And then he gave me the bill and it was really high. And I said, hang on, don't send that. That's more than what's on my sheet here. And he said, well, you said you wanted it over 6. And he's like, and I was like, well, yeah, but you offered it. Like, I didn't know it was going to be more. I thought you were just going to look through. And he goes, no, it doesn't work like that. So random lengths, random widths, cheapest price you're going to get it. And then if you start picking through, like I need 6s and I need them to be 10 foot long, then the price, it was about 40% more to tell them that I wanted a specific size. So that's kind of one of the things with woodcraft. But I mean, I think if you're a hobbyist, like a turner, or you make pens, or maybe even musical instruments, you could probably.
Yeah,
It's not worth your time trying to search it and pay shipping.
Exactly. Or to go to your local lumber yard, if you're doing like pens or something small, you don't need 10 feet of something. You need like 3 feet of something.
That's fair.
So that's
small
where
projects
it comes in
and
handy.
super exotics.
Yes.
Yeah, they have quite a list, and you can order just about anything out of their catalog, and it doesn't seem like it's that expensive.
Mhm.
And I mean anything, and they have different sizes.
like
and stuff.
I'd be
midgets?
so
It's kinda fun.
nervous ordering like a very expensive wood out of a catalog.
Well, you just got a money back guarantee. You say no, send me another one. This is
Yeah.
cracked. This is junk. So they're
I'll
usually
be honest, so I'm bad at returning stuff.
well, that's not their fault.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Anyway.
Sounds like a you
Correct.
problem.
Like I said, I would be nervous ordering from a catalog. But
Okay.
That's pretty much it. I mean, I tried to find something like famous. I am sure that it has real good superior stiffness, so it is used in musical instruments a lot for like fretboards and stuff.
A lot for basses and for fretboards. I've seen it for a lot of.
And for somebody that wants like a lot of pizzazz, right? Just in the natural grain.
know that pizzazz.
As far as finishing, it's like this almost said, you're only going to put like clear on this.
Yeah.
You're going to put oil on this wood.
Yeah.
You would never do anything other than that.
Yeah, you're not. You could do like a tinted stain to make it darker, but that's about as far as you'd go.
I told you about the Sapelli door the guy said he was going to stain, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Ridiculous.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You don't do that. But it actually turned out pretty good.
yeah.
Speaking of Tiger Woods and Christmas just passing, what's the difference between Tiger Woods and Santa?
Oh, wait. I heard this.
Well, I think I told this one the other day. So I'll let you tell it though.
Go ahead.
Santa stopped at 3 hoes.
Yeah.
How is how are a puppy and a nearsighted gynecologist the same?
They both have a wet nose.
They both have a wet nose. All right.
Oh man.
And on that note, Goncalo Alves, I hope you guys enjoyed.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Do you have
Carlo Alves.
Do you have any kind of a trivia to go along with that, or do you want to jump into something
nothing
different?
to do with that. It's a totally different kind of trivia, but it is a trivia about something we've been talking about.
Okay. Before we jump into that, I actually want to test you guys.
But
Okay.
first,
Let's do it.
First, a while back, I had asked you guys for some homework of what were 5 things you wanted to do to either clean up your shop or update your shop to prep for the new year.
I did some of them.
Yeah? What did you
already.
end up doing?
I did 2 of them already. Okay, so all of our equipment that has a digital readout,
Mhm.
like it was off a little bit. By like it had been off since the day I got it, probably
Yeah.
like maybe 1/100th of an inch.
But that adds up.
Something like that. Well, it does when you're going from the planer, which is heavy, to the drum sander, which is light.
Yes.
And you can't sand that much off at a time, especially on a big piece. So we almost burn a couple belts up, not paying attention sometimes. So I got the books out
Mm-hmm.
and I had a belt brake on the drum sander, and I said, okay, well, I guess it's time to do that. So we greased all the fittings on the drum sander.
Nice.
And then I got the book out, and I was like, this is so intimidating. Let's figure it out. But then once I got into it, I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I get it now. You just have to like read it over and over, and like, okay, I understand now.
So did you calibrate all the?
We calibrated it down, and it's as close as it's going to get. You know, anytime you run a board through that stuff, it's not super high end equipment.
No, but as long as it's calibrated
of
between machines, like that's massive.
It's calibrated to at least 0.005 of an inch.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty good. So we got the drum sander, but it took 2 people. We got that calibrated, the hold downs, and we were getting some chatter in our sandings that we couldn't sand back out. You remember with the maple?
Yeah.
And it turns out there's a plinth.
A what?
Is it a plinth? Plinth? It's not a plinth block. It's hard to explain, but on the last roller on wide belt sanders, on any wide belt sander, there's 2 rollers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not just one roller. This isn't a drum sander, it's a wide belt. So there's 2 hard rollers, and in between that roller, there is like a graphite, almost looks like a piece of an asphalt shingle coated thing.
Okay.
And then it has I'll think of I can't remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember what it's called. But it pushes it down in between those rollers to create a little pressure on the belt in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's specifically designed for putting like 220 grit in there and running like guitar backs through it or something where you want it sanded really, really flat and perfect.
Yeah.
And it was raised up to like 0. So I put it on like 1, and it basically got rid of everything.
Ooh.
And it's a wear part. So like it has a thing that slides out and then you can replace it. And it kind of just touches the back of the sandpaper. And it seemed to have worked, especially because I feel like the rollers weren't holding everything down to the belt hard enough. And so it was jumping as it was sanding microscopically, which made all these little waves in it. So we fixed it. We reset all the rollers.
All right.
That's awesome.
And the planer, I feel so stupid for not doing it before. You plane a board to like whatever you want to plane it to, like so say 3/4 of an inch, and then you take a micrometer and you measure it several places and figure out your average, which was a little heavy. And so then you don't move the planer, and you literally just type this different stuff on the keypad. You type in what it is that you want it to be, and then it resets it from there. So then if it was 0.75 and it was really 0.77, you just type in 0.77 and reprogram it, and now it's 0.77, so it's accurate.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's set. And then my other things for the shop was to put we built that thing for the scraps, that room for the scraps. That's done. And then to clean up my trailer, we did some of that, and that's like we took everything out, put some other stuff back in.
Okay.
My biggest thing is to get a set of tools for the trailer that never leaves.
Okay.
A set of drills, a set of everything, so I don't have to ever worry about packing the trailer again. Another jigsaw, but I can't go out and buy it all at once.
No.
Hey, one thing we did on that, so we too have a set of shop tools. Me and Rick each have our personal tools, and then we have a van tools. They're all different colors, so like you can very quickly tell if a van tool's in the shop. And vice versa.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I like that.
Makes sense. How about you, Colton?
Right on.
Any projects that you wanted to do or did?
Yeah, well, so just like Colt Crit business, finishing before Christmas, and like Thanksgiving is a rush time. So I guess the month of January is really the first time we're taking a breath and we'd be able to look at this stuff. So I guess these would be January goals.
Okay.
And so as far as that Kremlin, that really nice
that building in Russia, it's the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
In Moscow.
So it's one of our lacquer sprayers, right?
Oh, cool.
And I looked it up. It's like a $5,000 sprayer.
Wow.
And pretty cool. But I think it just needs new valves, but I have it kind of taken apart. I still got to figure all that out. I haven't really devoted the time to it, but there's some good stuff online about that. But so I want to get that up and working. So we have a backup sprayer as well.
Okay.
Our other one is the I think it's the CA Technologies.
Okay.
I believe. But that one's been a workhorse. It's had a few issues, but yeah, it's been a workhorse, man.
Okay.
That I got to write some new SOPs.
Yep.
I really want to get that going, especially now that hopefully our crew leader is taking over more jobs. I don't have to be as hands-on.
Nice.
And helicopter mom, right? And so yeah, as far as even like as basic as like stripping a table and stuff. So if y'all remember, whenever Rick was on,
Yeah.
we want to scale big. Like
Yes.
there's big potential for that. And also on that same note, Rick has a great idea for a video. We want to do an educational video. It'd probably be part of the class, but shoot, I just want to leave you on a cliffhanger. It's an awesome idea.
Okay.
I need to talk to him about it. We can share it. I really want to practice my glazes, right? So we call it a glaze.
Like,
you take
for like cinnamon rolls. Like what's happening?
Donuts.
Donut.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I want to practice baking. I think
Awesome.
everyone would like me more if I no.
Absolutely.
So like
Better learn to make sopapillas.
we call it glazing. Like so you take VM and P. I don't know what the acronym stands for, but it's a chemical. Kind of smells like acetone a little bit, but it's a base, and then you take like these color and oil. Yeah, and we also have different other glazes you can put in there, or even dyes you can put in there, just to like when you're trying to hit a color perfect. I want to practice that a little more. Like I know I can do it. Yeah, right. Not to be cocky, but I got an eye for the color, and I just need to practice, right? Yeah. And just like learn, like, oh yeah, burnt sienna, like you got to hit it with the green to kill it, or the red, you know. Yeah. I just need the hands time on it now, which I got to do a little bit today. Nice. On a gold mirror. Wait, y'all ever heard of liquid gold?
Yes.
Yeah, it's this way. It's like gold leafing, but you just paint it on, and it's so easy. Unless there's a weird color gold on the rest of the mirror, and there was, and so we had to do a glaze for it. But yeah, I want to practice glazes. I need to build these powder boxes. Okay. Right. So we use a lot of like I believe it's like a mica powder, but it's kind of like a stain powder. What? Oh, there's I'm drawing a blank on it. There's a word, that's the name of the color. But yeah, so I realized there's I counted it up. There's about 40 colors I want to have in the box, in my box. And I've cut some prototypes just like with a dish bit and with a lid that like fits on really tight so the colors aren't shaking out, right? Yep. And yeah, I want to get those built for probably once I get it down on the CNC, just go ahead and build 3 of them. Cool. And then, one goal, I already achieved it though, is get our bench planes working in the shop. And I actually got to use it on a project, and it was really fun. It was good.
Welcome to the world of hand tools.
Yeah, I know, right? I think it was last week I was talking about it. I had a guy take, it was the troubles of people digging in your box, right? Someone grabbed one of my carving tools. Yeah, it wasn't a straight chisel. It was like a bowl cut, kind of like one of the like little Stanley wood carving chisels. And he had that. We were packing out a giant pool table, right? And you know, sometimes when there's like a screw hole, they fill it in with Bondo or like Tough Carve. And I turn around, and he has a hammer and my sharp tool, and he's banging it out. I'm like, Mark, that's not what that's for. I kept my cool, but I was like, no. So it might be fixable, whatever. But yeah, on the hand tools. But yeah, so I got our little, it's probably like a 6-inch. I don't even think it has a name on it. One bench plane, good, which that one needed a lot. And then there's like a little block plane. And I almost brought my giant, like 14-inch jack plane to the shop for this project, but I left it at home, so I had to do it all with a 6-inch. Okay. And cool. Yeah, that's 5.
I like it. 5. So little things around my shop that I typically like to do, first and foremost, is about once a quarter, I resand all of my cast iron tops to like the joiner, the planer, the table saw, bandsaw, all that kind of stuff. I resand those just to get rid of any rust or residual stuff that's on there. And then I paste wax all of them. I am looking at getting some of the ceramic coat for the table saw, because I've heard that stuff is amazing, but I haven't done it yet. So I paste wax everything. It lasts for about 3 months or so, and then makes just life that much easier. Number 2, I try and make sure I recalibrate all my tools because sometimes they get knocked out, whether it's the alignment on the table saw fence or whatever it is. Those are definitely things I try and do. And then I always try and take a step back and reassess any like injuries or inefficiencies in the shop over the year. Like, where did I get injured doing stuff the most? And see if I can improve that. Turns out the majority of things that I did were because my chisels were too sharp. And
that's funny. I was literally about to ask if it was chisels. Yeah,
but it wasn't even like, oh my God, I like slipped and hit my hand. It was like I was using my hand as a guide and didn't feel anything because the chisels are so sharp. And next thing I know, there's blood all over the piece. And I'm like, damn it, happened again. So I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just be careful. I do need to look at some of the inefficiencies of like, where is the flow of stuff coming and going as far as projects go, and where am I getting held up? So I try and like just find efficiencies there to improve. I do still want to build 3 different things for the shop. Hopefully, if depending on where things are at with projects, but in the next couple months. Number 1, a larger outfeed table for my table saw. The one I have, I got in an auction for $15 and it's worked great, but it's time to upgrade. Number 2, the only piece of furniture I have for my shop from my old shop that was like before I knew how to do anything is my miter saw station. And it's literally a door with some 2x4 legs, and it's time. It needs to be upgraded. I need
it's a door. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was just an extra door that we had taken out of my house. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to use this as the base. Like it's time. It needs to be upgraded. So I'm going to do that. And then I need to build some sort of a drill press, like repeatable fence system and like inserts with dust collection and all that. I have 2 drill presses now. I want one of them to be a dedicated hollow chisel mortiser. So I just want to, work those and get
some
it done.
T-tracks and some laminate.
Exactly. I mean, it's not a wild project. It just needs to happen. So those are some of the projects I want to get done. The only other one I want to do is the sheet goods storage in my shop right now. They're all just kind of leaned up against a wall vertically, which is great, but it's precarious. If the wind blows, if I have the doors open, sheet goods fall over. So I just want to build like a standing sheet goods storage right next to the, I have I guess it's 18-foot tall storage, like warehouse rack. And next to it, I want to build an upright sheet goods storage just to organize stuff better. So.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So I was going to mention to you, I've made a lot of table saw a lot of shop equipment in general for several different shops now.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way that I found to do it is, especially like for a table saw outfeed or your miter saw station, is you buy, you build a cabinet carcass.
Yep.
And you don't even have to put the doors and drawers on it if you don't want. But if you want to do it later, you can. And just build them standard sizes, like 18, whatever. So like 17 and a half. And then they make them. So like my table saw is like 34 and a half, 36 inches, 34 inches tall. Build them all like 33.
Yep.
And then they have these cabinet, like
leveling feet or whatever.
Leveling feet, and they hook to the underneath of the plywood. And you adjust them with like a little wrench, and then they lock, and they're super cheap now. They used to not be. Now they're Amazon. They're super cheap, and you can get anything perfect, level with anything. You got lots of room for adjustment, and then it has room. And a cabinet carcass is really strong.
Yeah.
So you've got lots and lots of room to expand, and then you can get it perfectly level. Just throw a sheet of plywood on top and some laminate. By the way, when you wax that laminate, because I've been having the guys wax the tables now periodically, you wax laminate. I feel like Michael J. Fox, like I want to slide over the top of it. It is so slick. It's fantastic when you're running sheet goods over it.
So yeah, that's kind of my plan. Wow. That's the hope. So we'll see what happens, but that's what I want to knock out at least in this first quarter. if I don't end up doing this Range Rover build, then I'll start doing it this month. So,
Sounds good.
Dude, I think that's a great nugget is to think about where all your injuries happened.
yeah.
Like that's a good exercise. That's new to me.
Yeah.
We had a tip came off of one of my expensive saw blades.
Just the tip?
And just the tip.
Wow.
And it hit him in the shoulder, and he didn't know what it was. And I noticed one of the blades was cutting, and it had like a raggedness to it. I looked, I didn't see nothing. Not until like the second day of inspecting it did I see it was missing a tooth. And he's like, "Yeah, something hit me." And I said, "Well, did you hit a bullet or something that was in one of the pieces of wood?" And he said he didn't remember what he was cutting, but he had it like broke the skin on his shoulder.
Oh, it broke the skin.
Yeah. So fortunately, he was wearing safety glasses, so they're pretty good about that now. But
I do try and send off my table saw blades and chop saw blades about once a year to go get resharpened.
we've got a guy coming that's going to pick them up. Actually,
Yeah, it's definitely something that makes life so much easier. But I have noticed, and I guess I can save this for a nugget as well, but CMT Tools makes a table saw blade cleaner.
Yeah.
And you just spray it on, use like a Brillo pad, and your blade is like perfectly clean. The amount of friction that those things, like just the sap and just junk from the trees, leaves on your saw blades, and how much that slows down and dulls the cutting surface is astounding.
It is.
I literally only have to send out my blades about once every 2 years now because I'm cleaning them about once a month.
I used to buy this stuff, and I swear to you, it was water. It didn't smell like anything, and you would spray it. It doesn't rust anything, which doesn't make any sense, and everything would just dissolve off of it. That was when I was at my old shop. I've thought about it because mine are pretty skanky. They're pretty skanky. I have a guy coming to pick them up, but I don't have I don't have more than the two ones for the big saw blades, the 14s.
Yeah.
And so he talked about loaning me some, and I said, "Nah, it's like I'll buy. I need to have an extra."
Yeah, absolutely.
Couple, and then ripping and like a plywood
crosscut or whatever. Yeah,
I bought those, and then he's gonna come Monday and pick up a stack, baby. I got a stack. It's not. And this guy, and I'm like, wait a second, you don't charge more for like more teeth? And he goes, nope. 10s and 12s are the same price, and 14s more.
That's awesome.
And I was like, one of them's got like 90 teeth, and like some have like 20.
Yeah.
And he's like, it doesn't matter.
Dude, that's like, awesome.
I'm just hoping he can fix my dado stack because the ends, the chippers aren't quite exactly the same height.
Oh, that's right.
As the other. And so when he goes to sharpen it, they should be. They should be because they use a machine usually to do it. Anyway.
Well, let's get on that. I mean, I think that was really helpful.
I think it's like one of my favorite. I wish all I ever had to do was work on the shop. I love it.
Yeah. Let's do some trivia.
Woo!
Better get on out that knowledge because it's trivia time.
Just to start, just for the heck of it, okay? And I'm gonna let Ross go first, and then Colton, you can repeat anything that he says, and then add to it. Ross, name as many conifers as you can that are in Montana.
Douglas fir, blue spruce.
Okay.
Yeah. White spruce, white pine, and it's a Colorado fir.
Yeah.
That's what I got for you.
Okay. All right. And then what about like regular ones, like leaved ones?
Well, you said conifers.
I know. What about leaved ones?
Aspens.
Yeah.
They don't have cottonwoods up there. There's oaks. There's maples. There's some walnut, but not much. There is
poplar.
Yeah,
probably poplar.
Yeah. There are some willow up there as well. That's what I got for you right now.
Okay, very good. Any other ones you can think of? Colt?
No.
On either one?
You say yellow pine?
There is not.
Nope.
Well, I think
That's kind of a southern thing, right?
Yeah, southern yellow pine.
pines.
That's what I was
yeah.
kind of thinking. Okay.
No, it's
Yeah,
more
that-
white pine up there.
All right, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So, okay, here we go. So we've got lodgepole pine, ponderosa pine, western white pine, white barked pine, limber pine, subble pine, subble pine larch, western larch, Colorado blue spruce, like you said, white spruce, Engelmann spruce, Douglas fir, western hemlock, several of those, grand fir, red cedar. There is juniper, Pacific yew, creeping juniper. It's got a bunch of different Utah junipers in there.
Huh.
And then you said there is peach-leaved willow.
Mm-hmm.
There's black cottonwood, narrow-leaved cottonwood, plains cottonwood, quaking aspens, water birch, paper birch. I mean, there's alder, elm, American plum, choke cherry, mountain ash.
So I will
Montana
say
is very rich with
very rich with lumber, and they are very proud of the old growth lumbers. In fact, to the point where the entire airport, it's post and beam instead of timber frame, and it's all LVLs, but it's massive, and I mean like 2 foot thick LVLs that are 25 to 30 feet long, all put into a timber frame style structure to build out the airport, and it is just grandiose. It is awesome.
Yes. There's also one there that is in a bur oak, and they use it when they plan cities and stuff like that. This comes from the Montana .edu. It's from one of their things. So today's trivia is on trees in Montana. Okay, pretty easy one. And I will tell you, there is a lot of repeat. It is possible that there will be some repeat answers.
Before I forget, I want to throw this in real quick. A fun fact nugget thing that I learned years ago is that if you go on to Wikipedia and you look up neighborhoods in New York, one of the statistics they tell you about each neighborhood is how many trees are in each neighborhood. And I will never forget. Yeah. Because there are so few trees in New York, other than like Central Park, there's not a whole lot. So like Little Italy, when I at one point looked to move to New York, I realized that there were 7 trees in all of Little Italy. And I was like, there's more than that in my front yard. I don't know that I could do this.
Yeah.
Was there any oxygen?
It's not great, I'll tell you that. But yeah, so you mentioned that you looked it up on like montana.edu. If you go onto Wikipedia and look up statistics from like different neighborhoods in New York, it'll tell you like the makeup of the demographics and the median income and the college degree ratio and crime rates and everything else. And then the number of trees is in there too. So
I wonder if there's a correlation. Like happiness and number of trees.
It very much should be.
There should be. Yes. All right. Do we need Jeopardy music?
Woo!
Sure.
Let's go.
Always.
All right. We'll start with you, Ross, again. What is the state tree of Montana?
I'm going to go with the Western hemlock.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
Would you like multiple choice? So is it Douglas fir, ponderosa pine, lodgepole pine, or aspen?
I'm going to go with the first one.
Douglas fir?
Douglas fir.
Still incorrect. It is ponderosa pine. Ponderosa pine. All right. It is the dominant tree species in many parts of Montana.
Okay.
All right. What would you...
Colton's turn.
Okay, Colton. Which tree species is commonly associated with big sky country landscape? Would it be redwoods, aspens, oaks, or maples?
Let's go redwood.
That is incorrect.
Wait, big country. Okay.
Big sky
Big
country.
sky country is... Ross?
I'm going to go...
I'll give you Dumb and Dumber as the clue.
Aspen.
Aspen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is aspen. Very good. Next one.
The water flows like wine.
Which tree species is a major source of timber in Montana?
Do I have any?
Redwood, Doug fir, palm, or magnolia?
I mean, Doug fir.
Doug fir. That's right.
It's definitely not palm.
Well, I'm trying to be easy. All right, very good. Moving on. Which conifer is often found at higher elevations in the Rocky Mountains of Montana? Is it the ponderosa pine, lodgepole pine, redwood, or oak?
Ponderosa pine.
Incorrect.
Oh, come on.
Lodgepole pine.
Lodgepole pine.
Mhm.
That's right.
Is that was higher altitudes?
Yes, thinner
Yeah.
air up higher in the altitudes.
I learned a good word in this.
Interesting.
Strangely enough, broadleaf trees do not grow above a certain altitude. Only conifers can, and that's usually somewhere around like 7,000 feet. And then once you go above 7,000 feet, it's tougher for anything but conifers to grow. And after you get above about 9,000 feet, it's tougher for conifers to even grow because the air is so thin. So once you get above that 9,000 foot level, it's typically around the tree line. And then anything above that is usually just bald mountains.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All right, you ready?
Who?
Wait, it's
It
Me?
was just.
oh, I just went longleaf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or lodge leaf.
Lodgepole.
Lodge pole. There we go.
Which tree species is known for its vibrant fall colors in Montana out of? Is it larch pine, fir, or redwood?
Hold on.
Larch?
Okay. I'm going to go with larch.
That is correct.
I thought you said it was larch pine, redwood.
No, larch, pine, fir, or redwood.
Was that kind of a trick question?
Yeah,
like, known for
because
its
3 of them are
leaf color
conifers.
change?
Only one of them has a leaf.
Unlike
That's
other
kind of a trick
conifers,
question. So see if you're paying attention.
unlike other conifers, large trees are deciduous, meaning that they lose their needles in the fall. They display stunning golden yellow colors.
I was unaware of this.
Oh.
Before they lose it, yeah. All right.
Well, my roof knows that. We have a lot of pines near my house. And,
Yes. Yes, you do.
those needles are such a pain.
All right. So this is Ross's favorite tree. You ready, Colton?
Mm-hmm.
It's cherry.
Which tree species
Yeah.
is an important source of food for wildlife in Montana? Is it the cottonwood, oak, or spruce, or fir?
Source of food? That'd be the cottonwood?
That's correct. It is
Okay.
cottonwood.
Really?
It provides food and shelter for wildlife, including beavers, muskrats, and waterfowl.
Huh. I hate
All
cottonwood.
right.
They
The
suck.
know.
cottonwood baddies?
All right, moving on. Ross, which tree species is a key component of the boreal forests in northern Montana? Is it Doug fir, spruce,
It
redwood,
is spruce.
or oak? It is spruce.
Hmm?
Spruce trees are a dominant species in the boreal forests of northern Montana. All right. This is something that I did not know. I double checked it.
Here's a
This is
fun
true.
fact that most people don't know. The boreal forest technically spans the globe. Just the northern
You for real?
hemisphere. Yeah, it does span all the way from the southern reach is northern Montana, goes all the way through Canada.
Underwater.
No. I mean across what would be the Arctic Circle, and then goes into Russia. It is the largest forest on Earth, and it produces like 10 times more oxygen than the Amazon.
Have you guys
Really?
heard
Mhm.
that whole
That's
thing
cool.
about the fungus and the mycelium, and like all trees talk to each other through mycelium?
Yeah.
Mushrooms are everything.
Mycelium was before everything, and that like a mushroom is the genitalia of.
That's why I don't eat them, man.
All right.
I think there's something about that with the psilocybin mushrooms too. Like whatever. But yeah, let's go. Let's keep going.
All right. 2 really good ones coming up. Which tree species is known for its fire-resistant bark? I did not know this. I double-checked it to make sure it was true, and it is. Is it the ponderosa pine, aspen, spruce, or fir?
Which one is this for?
This is for.
I think it's for me.
Okay,
Right?
go ahead.
Yeah. Let's go Ponderosa.
It is. It is the Ponderosa. The thick, deeply furrowed bark of Ponderosa finds some protection against fire. And this is really interesting. This is a new word for everybody. For me, I should say. You guys might know it. Are you ready, Ross?
I am.
Which tree species is commonly found in riparian, R-I-P-A-R-I-A-N, riparian areas throughout Montana? Is it ponderosa pine, willow, spruce, or fir?
Let's go out on a limb. Let's say willow.
Oh.
That is correct.
Oh,
Yeah, buddy.
And so basically, riparian means relating to or situated near a riverbank.
Oh.
that makes sense.
Banks of a river or stream, relating to wetlands adjacent to rivers and streams. So, riparian is a very big word.
Sure.
All right. Yes,
Sure,
it is
yeah.
the willow. Willow trees are well adapted to moist soils and are frequently found along rivers, streams, and wetlands in Montana.
And across the country.
Yeah, I guess that would be true.
Mhm.
Let's see if I do have any other ones.
You got one more for Colton?
Yeah.
All right. You ready?
Listo,
Sure.
amigo. While I was looking that up, I don't know if you noticed, Ross, but my mullet got a little trimmed up.
I can see that. So did it all did. I mean, your facial hair and everything.
Yeah, well, the facial hair goes up and down, but the mullet had passed its prime, right? It was just a little bit long, and so I had Crystal trim it, and I was like, all right, babe, I want it about right here, pointed about up to a spot on my neck, and I was like, but gotta leave room for the curl, right? And she left maybe a quarter inch for the curl, and it was so short. And at first we were like, which and she's like, already didn't want to do it. I was having to encourage her to do it. I'm like, we can figure this out, right? Like how to cut hair.
You should have just trimmed the sides and a little bit on the top. Let the mullet just grow.
Yeah, no, it had to go down a bit. It was just long, man. It was.
That's the point.
I could reach behind my back and get it. I don't know. I have my regrets about it, but I think now that we're here, I can shape it better. I have more knowledge of what it's going to do.
Okay.
And so I know which hairs to let go and whatever.
Okay.
But still figuring it out. But yeah, it makes me a little sad, but it's so much nicer. I can put on my backpack without it getting caught, in a strap. And oh yeah.
All right.
You got it, Jess?
Last question.
Woo!
This is on a sad note, which tree species is often used for firewood in Montana? Most used for firewood. As a matter of fact, when my parents lived here, they had a wood burning stove, and this is the wood that they had.
Sad note.
Yeah, you burn it.
Oh.
You gonna give him choices?
Redwood, ponderosa pine, palm, or magnolia?
Magnolia's knew the answer to his bed. Do you know it, Ross?
I mean, it's fairly
It's
obvious.
Not magnolia. It's not magnolia.
Yeah, ponderosa pine.
That is correct. Ponderosa pine. So reason being is it's so abundant and it has really high heat output because all the sap.
Mhm.
So,
Oh yeah.
that's all I got for
because
tonight.
it's sappy, right?
Mm-hmm. Like a love song, dude.
Yeah, dude.
All right. I will drink to that.
Woo!
Showtime! Woo! 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 Woo!
The whiskey of the week.
The whiskey of the week going back quite a few weeks now. Actually, 4 weeks technically, but 3 episodes, is the Penelope whiskey. And I let Colton pick whichever one he felt was appropriate out of that line. So Colton, you were holding up a bottle, so you were able to procure something. What did you get and did it dandy?
So I went with seems to be their standard.
Okay.
Just judging based on price and availability, but I went with the 4 grain.
Okay.
And which it's 80 proof.
Yep.
Right. Most every other lines was a lot higher than that, right?
Yes.
And I don't know. I'm kind of having some buyer's remorse, but I kind of wanted to feel their truth out, right? Like first time trying this distillery, I wanted to get their baseline. Then, like, which I'd be interested in their other ones, but so the 4-grain to me, like if I did this in a blind tasting, I wouldn't pick it as a 4-grain. I'd pick it as a normal bourbon.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it comes off a little corny. It's not corn forward though. Right, so touch corny. There's a lot of vanilla
Okay.
on it, especially on the nose, and then it's kind of just like a touch buttery, but it's very mild, right? Like it's really easy.
So to go ahead. I'll fill you in.
Well, I was gonna say, like, as far as the 4-grains, my other experience with 4-grains is like especially with the Old Elk 4-grain, it's like holy crap, there's a lot to digest here.
Yes,
and this one, which I think it's 75% corn.
That's a strong corn base. I mean,
yeah, and then the smallest percentage is 3% of the barley.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So
what 7% or 15% wheat, 7% rye. But I feel like, so tell me if this is wrong, but it was easier to pick apart the notes when the whiskey's hotter, right? Like
there's more there to digest. When it's 80 proof, it's already been proofed down. So they've already added water to bring it down to a consistent alcohol level. Right. And therefore a lot of the notes that you may be able to pull out when it's a higher proof and you add some water or ice, they've already been kind of diluted out.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a less active whiskey.
Right. And which, not to say it's bad, but yeah, for me, it's kind of like an airplane nap, but like a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Like you wake up just in time to get your pretzels and soda, then right back to sleep. And then wake up right at the end when you're getting off. Like it's time for you to get up and get your bag. And yeah, it's just like a nice, smooth, easy nap.
Okay.
But yeah. And so to rank it, I think that this is going to be like a milestone as far as like it's a solid 5.
Okay.
Right. Like when I want to say something's over a 5 or under a 5, I think I'm going to think of this Penelope.
Okay.
Right. There's nothing wrong with it, but it lacks an X factor.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of like a thrill when it comes to the whiskeys, but and I wouldn't like seek it out to go buy it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I would, and as far as buying it like at a bar, getting a pour of it,
mm-hmm.
I'd do it if, say, I was like standing room only at a bar, right? Like I'm not sitting down and digest it.
No.
But I just want a decent whiskey and
to talk to friends with.
Talking while I'm, sipping it. And like, but you could drink this all night.
Yeah.
And it's not so hot that you're going to super quick get in trouble, you know.
So little background on this whiskey. It was originally created at MGP. All of the product is sourced whiskey. It was all laid down based on specs that they had. And then they were a company on their own for about 4 or 5 years. After the whiskey had matured, they started to grow quite a bit. And then MGP said, hey, we're still holding the majority of your whiskey because it's aging in our facilities. We're just going to buy you back up. So about a year ago, MGP bought Penelope back. And so everything is now back in house because they already had the whiskey. So they just make more of it. But MGP is now trying to create a lot more of their own presence of this is our portfolio of whiskeys rather than just being a sourcing distillery. So
nice.
Yeah.
But another way I would put this whiskey, I would recommend it to someone who really likes accounting. Just kind of which, sorry to all my accountants out there, I know there's more breeds, but it's just kind of like straightforward and vanilla.
Okay.
So
well, the whiskey going into next week's episode is the Redwood Empire, the rye, and it is hailing from the great state of California. And before I forget about it, with the wildfires that are going on right now in the state of California, to all of our friends and family that may be out there, stay safe, take care of yourselves. It is absolutely devastating, similar to the hurricane issues that happen on the East Coast. This is just wiping people out with everything they have. So, obviously, we'll do what we can. And to those listening out there, make sure you're donating where you can, whether it's your time, whether it's your monetary help. But the next whiskey we're doing is coming from the state of California, and hopefully we can raise a glass to those who are fighting those fires. So,
Yeah, man, I haven't been up on my news. I had no idea.
yeah, you may want to turn on the TV. There are 5 fires right now that have literally wiped out most of Malibu. They have wiped out. They're into the Hollywood Hills near the Hollywood sign.
Like Paris Hilton's house, Billy Crystal's house.
Yep,
Like,
Ricky Lake's house
way.
is gone.
yeah.
It blows my mind that it's so giant. It's hard to get under control.
Well, the problem is, so I have people I work with that live out there, and they were saying that like the past 2 years with the crazy snowfalls that all the resorts got, they actually got a ton of rain. And the first year it caused a lot of mudslides because it was years without rain. And then last year, all these plants grew because there was so much moisture, and they haven't gotten rain in greater Los Angeles since March 17th of last year. So all those plants turned to tinder. And as these fires started, the Santa Ana winds are happening right now. And it's anywhere from 50 to 100 mile an hour wind gusts. And it's just blowing these flames. And it's literally covering a football field every 10 minutes. That's how fast it's burning. So like homes, shopping malls, everything are just being wiped out. It is wild. So our hearts go out to everybody who's out there. And if anybody needs anything, please feel free to reach out. But yeah.
Oh man, we need to reach out to a Design is Blank.
Yep. And we also need to reach out to Lindsay at Woodbrain. We need to reach out to Katz Moses. Wow. We need to reach out to a whole bunch of people. Check on your friends, check on your family, make sure everybody is okay. I'm sure they're probably getting sick of hearing from everybody, but it never hurts to ask how we can help. So on that note, I don't want to bring, everything down, but it is time to bring a little bit of education back into this episode. Do you guys want to jump into a Snugget?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, hey, awesome. Oh.
And what, Jess? Thank you. All right, getting into Snuggets. Colton, you were about to say something. What do you got?
Yeah. Hey, I almost forgot. So Mark and Donna with Rockin' K Creations.
Yep.
So we hung out with them at we hung out with both Workbench Con, and they got to meet Crystal too at Maker Camp.
Yep.
And they sent me so her, I believe it's her son. They have there's Rockin' K Creations is the woodworking.
Yep.
And then Rockin' K Farms. So they had sent us, they gave me a maple syrup at Maker Camp.
Oh yeah.
But she was talking about this ruby red popcorn, and it's supposed to be.
Is it from red corn?
The nuggets are red. I don't know anything else about it.
Wow.
I was a little liquored up when she was going into detail, but I think a big thing about it is that the actual kernel is like so small, or like it doesn't get stuck in your teeth as much. And I think there's a certain flavor to it as well. We haven't cooked it yet, but she sent me me and Crystal a bag, and I thought it was awesome. I'll have to report back next week on tasting it.
Please do.
But apparently, her son's already sold out of all his ruby red popcorn. It's sought after. I'd never heard of it.
I would like you to give a report of the ruby red popcorn with the Redwood Empire rye.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll send each of y'all a kernel of it.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'll cook it right up. The one kernel. It'll be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I can divvy up in bags. It's a decent sized bag, actually.
Yeah.
If you're interested. But we'll talk about that offline.
Okay.
But yeah, so she sent me that. Yeah, huge shout out.
Thank you to them.
I can't wait to try it.
Jess, do you have a Snugget you want to share with the world? Or a snipe?
I would say no, I don't have. No snipes today. I think that I would. I was thinking about like something that I haven't mentioned before, but I was at a customer's house, and he's the guy that actually does our website. We've been doing a lot of work at his house
Mm-hmm.
because he lost some stuff during the hurricane, decided to do a little bit of remodeling. So we've done some things, and he trusts us. And he's like, "You guys have like I've had a lot of people come to my house, but like you guys have tools for everything to do it just right, like for whatever it is that you're doing."
Mm-hmm.
And today I was working and I was putting the cabinet. They'd gotten the counters in, so we were putting the handles on, and they had like different size handles, like 10-inch ones,
Mm-hmm.
5-inch ones, and stuff. And I bought a handle jig, a nice one on Amazon, and it was I don't know, it was like $50 or whatever, but it's like all aluminum and it's all milled and everything, so it stays real square. Even though you can do like a 36-inch wide drawer front and a 2-foot long handle on it if you wanted to with it. It's got all these different things that move around. And they're like, wow. And these guys do cabinets. Some of the other guys, they're my friends that are working there, doing the bathroom or whatever. This is at a different job.
Yeah.
And he's like, we've got to get one of those. And I was like, how you're doing them by hand and measuring them? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, that has got to take so long to do that.
Yeah.
Because, you just said it and this one flips back and forth. So if you do cabinets, buy a handle jig. If you do any job, go buy the proper tools to do it. Go buy the proper tools to do it. Put it in the job. Like, even if you only pays for half the tools, go buy every tool that you get is another job that you can do.
Yep.
Is money that you can make. Is a new, a new little part that you're able to do. Like, for instance, if you have a CNC, that's a huge thing.
Absolutely.
That's something that you can do. That's on a big scale. But like, what if you just have tools to do a little bit of plumbing? You can, change some stuff, or you have some tools to do electrical and some electrical testers and stuff. If you have some drywall tools, like whatever it is that is somewhere related to with what you do for a living, or even just as a maker, at the end of the day, you're going to have to fall back on certain parts of, especially with what we do, dry up.
Yes.
Right? Like, people don't always want just furniture. They might want a cabinet.
Yep.
They might want shelves, or they might want this.
I've had to do a lot of built-ins, and I hate doing them, but that's what everybody wants right now.
Yeah.
Especially during COVID.
Like stuff for putting door handles in.
Yeah.
And like doors, like jigs for hinges. Like, there's all these little tools that they make it easier, faster, more precise.
Absolutely.
You don't make mistakes. Like hacking into the side of a door.
And it's repeatable.
And it's repeatable. So just spend the money. Look at reviews if you don't know what one to buy, and just buy it.
I should have thought of that. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's a good. Sorry, I wasn't trying to.
Like, I used to drill doors. I used to drill doors out for a handle, like a door blank, with a hole saw, and then chisel out the thing. They make stuff now.
You just use a palm router. You're done in seconds.
It's just like you can put. Well, no, it snaps on the door. It's a jig, and you just drill the hole saw either through, and then now they've got a punch for the square part on the other end, and you literally hit it with a hammer, and it's got like chisels that go all the way around. I mean, it's unbelievable, the stuff, and you can knock out a door in no time at all. So,
hey, sorry to give you heck on that. Actually, I get what you're saying now. Like, there's been so many times where I've done something by hand, like, I could figure it out with a chisel instead of buying whatever, for so long, and then you finally like either borrow or use or finally buy whatever tool or jig, and I feel like an idiot. Like, freak! I should have bought this so long ago.
It's all about your time, right?
What was I thinking?
Especially if you're backed up. Like, if you've got a lot to do,
Metamucil.
You need to get through something. Yeah. The other thing is like, take on jobs where maybe you don't have the tools, and put the money in there to maybe pay for the tool to do. Then the customer pays for it, and now you're set to use it later on. By the way, when did belt sanders get so expensive?
So I will give you a hint on that one.
I've already bought one.
I know, but there is a line of tools that Harbor Freight has come out with to try and up their game to go against Milwaukee and DeWalt. The Bauer line of tools is the same caliber as like a DeWalt. Their belt sander is like a 3.5 horsepower belt sander, and it is a monster.
I used to have a Harbor Freight one.
But it is awesome.
Well, they don't always beat them on price either, though.
No, they don't. But like I will say, the belt sander
I like Bauer stuff.
It's actually really really good. It's a great belt sander.
Are you talking about a benchtop?
No.
Belt, or like a
handheld?
No, like a handheld. So I looked at what are they? The 3x18s, and then there's like 4x24, right? Those are like your two main sizes. And 4x24 is pretty big.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't want to buy a junky one.
No.
Like I used to have a Makita one, and I don't ever know what happened to it. That was a long time ago. But you couldn't kill it. Dropped it.
Yeah.
You could buy parts for it if you burnt stuff up. Like it was just like. And so I bought. They're like $300 for a Makita belt sander. The bigger one just so happened to be on sale, cheaper. It was cheaper on Amazon from some tool seller than it was at like Home Depot or whatever. So I bought it from them. But $300 for a belt sander?
It's ridiculous.
It's just a motor.
Yeah.
And anyway, but yeah.
There you go.
I used to have a commercial electric Harbor Freight one, but I mean, it was.
No, the commercial electric stuff is no good. Look at the Bauer line.
One. Although I will say my biscuit joiner from Commercial Electric still works perfectly.
There you go.
So anyway.
Colton, what do you got for us, Snugget? You need a second?
Man, I was looking through my list because I think I might have said this one before, but maybe even if I have, it's a good reminder. When you're doing colors, right? Like whether it's a glaze or a stain or anything, take the time for the love of goodness and test it. And one thing really good to test it, like if you can have a similar veneer
or a scrap cut off or something.
Yeah. Oh, it scraps. Obviously, yeah, those are best. But yeah, I guess especially for if you're building something. But in our case, at XFR, we're normally refinishing something, right? And we're trying to exactly match. And especially if you're trying to not refinish the whole piece, but like if you can get like an underside or even like a foot, something from where the homeowner will be standing is at least 4 feet away from their eyes. Right. So like maybe like a foot or back of it or whatever, maybe even up high on the side or something. Test it out there first.
Okay.
Once you've made your mix or whatever you're going to color it with, and could save you a lot of heartache.
I like it.
The worst words in our shop ever is like, nope, strip it. And oh God. Yeah.
So the snugget that I have is kind of I guess a hack, if you will. I am a massive music fan. I have Spotify playing pretty much 24/7 unless I'm sleeping. And I average somewhere north of 50,000 hours of listening time per year when I get my Spotify Wrapped. Like, I mean, I have it going constantly.
That's cool.
And in July, I purchased off of Temu, whatever. It is the T&G Bluetooth speaker. And it literally looks exactly like the JBL Pill Bluetooth speaker.
Okay.
And when you turn it on, it makes the exact same sound that a JBL does because it's manufactured by the same people who make JBL.
Yes.
No way.
I bought it for $10. I literally just looked it up. It was July 29th. I bought it for $10.39. It came in. I have charged it once, and I used it every day when I was in Montana, and I've used it probably 30 times between then and now, and I have yet to recharge it. For $10.
You don't have it turned way up though, right?
No, I just have it for like ambience in the room, like like the office or whatever. But like I can travel with it. I literally travel with it in my backpack when I'm traveling for work, and like when I'm in a hotel room, I just pop that thing up and I have music going. Dude,
Genius.
for $10.39, I do not know that I've gotten a better speaker ever.
I'm gonna
That's a
buy.
nugget.
Hey, can you link them up or no?
Absolutely.
So you can buy like 2 or 3 of them.
I think so. I have to double check, but
Because the JBLs do that.
yes.
Have you ever heard of Oontz? OONTZ?
Yeah.
It's an Amazon brand. Yeah, exactly. But they've been around for a while. But I just bought another. It's like a little pill speaker, but the battery.
I have a UE. I have a UE Boom. It was super expensive, and the battery did not last.
Yeah, that's the Ultimate Ears
Really?
version. Yeah, so this one, T and G, T ampersand G.
Send me the link.
I will
Although I'm
send
going to
you the
get
link.
Timu ads. I'm going to get Timu ads just for saying Timu out loud.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they take your info, buddy.
We bought some like clothes and stuff for the kids.
oh, it's even discounted. You can get it as low as $7.64.
And you stand by it. That is nuts.
Dude,
it's
great.
I have like a Ryobi one at work, but it's gotten overspray on it so many times I can't even see the buttons anymore. And it's nice though because you can plug it in, but the radio doesn't work. Yeah, I'd like
the
to
XFR. We got a Makita battery powered one.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
And Sonos speakers are amazing. But for this one, for $10, who cares? Have like 10 of them. Great.
Not to change the subject, but what Colton said, he's like, yeah, just go buy it. Like, yeah, duh. I want to put in a snipe, not about Colton. But the reason that made me think of it is the problem with the industry in general is that people don't charge enough so that they can afford to put money back into the business, aka in this business, buy tools.
Correct.
Because the tools wear out, tools break. You need bigger ones, you need better ones, you need to get things done faster because people want it faster. And the only way you make more money is to do things faster. People don't charge enough. Now, I understand that there's a balance between what you're, like, I'm still going to make money, but if I bid it at what I really want to bid it at, I'm not going to get the job.
Correct.
I get that. But if you're not making enough money to be able to buy some hand tools, and I'm not talking about large equipment, I'm just talking about hand tools and smaller things, less than $200, let's say, once in a while, then you aren't charging enough.
Correct.
You aren't charging enough money. There should be money in your budget for equipment, new equipment, not replacing equipment, new stuff. Because stuff breaks, stuff gets lost. You need 2 of them. It's just part of it. I was listening to the guy that I was doing the kitchen for. He was at his house today, kind of overseeing some things that else were being done because it was a flood house. And he works for a big sign company. He's a big bigwig there, and they do stuff for like Disney. They do stuff for Carrabba's and Longhorn Steakhouse, like everybody. And minimum, they charge $140 a person an hour per man hour. If a contractor needs to just pay them to do something hourly, and then it's double time for the weekends and overtime. So this and hazard pay. And so it is.
They're probably paying their labor like $35 to $40 an hour.
Yes.
And they're putting $100 into the business to all the other operational stuff.
Well, there's insurance and all kind of other stuff. Yeah. So workman's comp ain't cheap on something that's $40 an hour either. It's probably like 20. So if you can't afford, like if you're scrimping by and like you can't buy a nice skill saw or whatever because you don't have any money, you do a job, you can't buy a track saw, you're not charging enough to pay your bills. And it's not just about paying your bills, it's about the business too.
Agreed.
I will
keep that in mind.
I'll fully admit that it's still hard for me to price high enough. And like I still catch myself being like, nope, this is a business. We have to charge more.
You can't just charge.
Well, you have to back it up with
quality. I just
quality.
want to make the stuff. The money stuff's annoying to me.
It is annoying. It is. It really is. That's why I don't do it.
Yeah. I know that's everybody, but like
the only way you can charge a lot less is if you have scaled up the business to where you have taken the cost per item down so much more.
Yeah, and that doesn't really happen.
Not unless you're doing millions of dollars of volume.
Nah, right. You got like
millions.
You got $750,000 machines pumping out, cabinet parts, cutting them out and literally picking them up and that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
On a small scale. So,
well, boys, is there anything else we want to cover off on before we send this off to the long kiss goodnight?
No, it's good to see you again.
Oh, I did something super random last night. I painted like a 30
Bob
inch
Ross?
Yes.
Ooh.
Like I had the what you call it, an easel? No, easel. What's hold the paint? What's the thing where it's like a big palette?
Yeah, the artist palette.
Yeah.
And I went to buy that liquid gold leaf stuff, the gold leaf, liquid leaf, I think maybe it's called. And I was sitting in Hobby Lobby, and when you see artwork, and like you're like, I could freaking do that.
Yeah.
Why is that I finally freaking did it. And
did it look like the stuff in Hobby Lobby?
Yeah, no, I didn't base it off anything Hobby Lobby. That's where I bought I bought a black canvas, 30 inches by 40 inches, and then I bought 5 colors. I did like a deep, it's technically called black, but it's really like a deep blue, a pure black, silver, or no, a gray, silver, and a white. And the picture, I'll have to send you a picture of it, but the picture I was like doing was real flowy, and it was something someone had done real easy. Right. But it looked really nice, and it might have sold for a lot. I don't know. But I was like, I could do that. And I kept putting my own spin on it, and it felt really cool. It felt like Bob Ross in there.
Nice.
And like, I built like a little easel. But
have you seen the ones where they take a giant, like a really nice size canvas, like maybe like a 60 by 48 or whatever canvas, and then they'll take like a tree limb that's fallen and pour like black paint all over it.
Yeah.
And then just smack the canvas with it.
Yep.
And it makes like that impression of like a tree on it. And that's it. It's done. I love it. I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
It looks like so freaking cool.
I also want to do, I'm sure y'all have seen videos of it, but some of the spray paint, like street art.
Yeah.
Where like they angle the spray paint.
Yeah.
Different.
It always ends up being like a solar, like universe picture,
Yes.
but yeah, they look awesome.
Yeah. Or like, I had an idea kind of like with mountains. And like, I could even cut like stuff on the CNC for different triangles and whatever.
If you're looking for something fun, just look on either TikTok or Instagram for Bob Ross painting journey. And turns out Bob Ross wasn't he wasn't just painting random scenes. If you put them all in chronological order, he's literally doing like a journey through the mountains and rivers and everything. And it is awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you watch the Bob Ross documentary thing?
Part of it, yeah. I haven't seen it all, but yeah.
They say that's the most calming show to watch right now.
That's awesome.
Like if people want to calm, it's #1 show.
Gonna put this happy little tree there. It'll be our little secret.
I used to watch it like forever ago. He was still alive.
The Family Guy. Don't you tell anyone we put this bush here. I will come to your house and I will cut you.
I quote Bob Ross all the time. It's like no mistakes, just happy little accidents.
There you go.
That's right.
That, and then also that it's not a mistake, it's a feature. Or not, it's not a blemish, it's a feature.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good place to end it.
Woo!
All right. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button wherever you are listening to this podcast. And thank you very much to every one of you for tuning in this week. We hope you enjoyed every second of this episode. If you didn't, please send all your complaints to our penance-obsessed legal representation at Jules, Vern, and Wallace Legal Partners, where their motto is, "The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequality of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper
Amen, brother.
and the finder of lost children. And we will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy our brothers. And you will know our name is the law when we lay our vengeance upon thee." For Jess, Colton, Ross, this has been the Beat Around the Bench podcast, and we will catch you all next time.
Yep.
See ya.